election 3 weeks away, but we know there are already some efforts underway to sow doubt as to its results, those efforts only to accelerate. Please tell us more about the chaos you fear may come.
Yeah, I think we are looking at a very possible constitutional crisis, and one that's going to make January 6, 2021 look like a dress rehearsal. And this year, the rogues have had 4 years to go pro and perfect the big lie. And so I wrote this piece. I think it's the most important piece I've ever written, because I'm really wanting to warn the American people about what very well may happen on November 5th and then the days to come. And we shouldn't be surprised when Donald Trump sends out his lawyers to challenge everything. I mean, that's what they did in 2020. The vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance, couldn't even admit that Trump lost in 2020. And remember, in 2020, Biden won 306 electoral votes to Trump's 232. So all of his 60 different challenges he filed, he had to run the table and win a bunch of them. This election might be closer.
I also don't know why we don't talk more about someone who somehow dodged the draft because of made-up bone spurs, but now he's fit enough to be the president of the United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, did you ever get those bone spurs taken care of, sir?
Right. Malcolm Nance says it all the time. He's a physical coward, and he always has been. Ugh. Okay, so Rufus Wainwright is the latest call out. Called it blasphemous hearing his cover of Hallelujah being played at that rally for Trump. I know. You know what I remember is how great Kate McKinnon was singing it as Hillary. Ay, that was heartbreaking. But he called it very upsetting to see Trump jamming out to his music. He also argued the honesty of the song revealed to him a broken man who needs help. Yeah. He said, I hope this song is a prayer for a good and a better world. He says he will be supporting, of course, Kamala Harris. And he said he would be plenty happy if Trump's wacky rally ends up being part of what loses him the election. I mean, I challenge you to watch that and say this guy's okay.
I'm convinced that Sinead O'Connor's ghost put a curse on him, and that's why he couldn't move for 45 minutes.
There you go.
His legs just stopped working. Are you kidding me? I'm surprised that her estate has not sued him for playing that as well. There's
Prince's
zero
estate
chance
as well.
they would have given permission.
And Prince wrote the song, so his estate as well.
Right.
Yeah.
As if we could vote for Kamala Harris any harder, MAGA host says his friends are moving to foreign countries if Kamala beats Trump.
Go!
And we're wondering how to end Trumpism. Good, go! Get out!
I don't think people understand how damaging that Univision interview was yesterday, that town hall, the amount of people that watched that. And he was, and not just the audience, that audience was proof that they weren't buying his BS. The women had their arms crossed and were snapping their necks when he would say a lie. The guy who interviewed because it felt like one, asked that question about January 6th. It was one of the most pointed questions anyone has asked him on national television, and he bombed it.
Yeah. I mean, stop threatening us with a good time. Pro-MAGA TV host, somebody, revealed her friends are moving to a foreign country. So you're going to be immigrants. Oh, God, it's to laugh. Okay.
Wait, are you trying to seek asylum in another country because you're not happy with your own? Wait, what?
Huh? What?
Correspondent Brian Glenn, who is Marjorie Taylor Greene's
boyfriend.
Wow, okay.
He was my boyfriend!
Pointed to the alleged success of Trump media stock, despite its value plunging just a day earlier. He said, Kamala's numbers have been going down. His stock is going up. No, that would be the opposite would be true. Kamala's numbers going up. Trump, after he did the Chicago thing, you tweeted about it. You said, I think this is even worse than the black journalist thing. He totally bombed the economic forum thing. And Trump media, stock plummeted because he was
it's supposed to be his jam.
Right.
Everyone's like, oh, he didn't bomb. The audience gave him a standing ovation. The audience would give him a standing ovation if he pooped in the toilet instead of the floor. They'd be like, congratulations, young man. Well done. Like, I don't want to hear this crap. Well, they were clapping for him. They were also laughing at him. The entire crowd was not on Trump's side.
Yeah. I mean, and speaking of economics, the Washington Post yesterday reported on the likely impact of Trump's economic proposals, found they would likely cause massive disruptions. It's his scheme to slap tariffs of 10% or higher on all foreign goods. Most economists say would lead to massive resurgence of inflation. And he keeps changing the number. Oh, maybe it'll be 5,000%. We're talking about a plan of historic significance. It would be enormous, and the blowback would be even more enormous. This would stand way off the charts, said one economist. Gas prices would increase by as much as 75 cents per gallon in the Midwest, where most refined products come from Canada. Yep. Trump's tariff would cost the typical household $2,600 a year. Yale Budget Lab said the annual cost could be as high as $7,600 for a typical household. I mean, Dana, here we are, where I get that there's a segment of the MAGA cult that doesn't care about experts of any kind, but at this point, pretty much every economist, every military expert, everybody is warning with hair on fire.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and $7,600 would literally bankrupt an entire class in this country.
Absolutely.
Most people don't have that, even if there's a medical emergency in their savings account. That would be disastrous.
Yeah, most people can't cover. What's the price? I can't remember the
$400.
like a $400 emergency.
Yeah.
It's
not a lot of money.
Yeah. Anyway, Oh, can I just say also, it's always the entire Republican Party, as you were saying, Danny, you were alluding to the project, Project 2025, Vance. That's their whole project. It's not, they know Trump is, I don't know. Well,
Hookaloo, yeah.
I mean, who knows? But Anderson Cooper had heard enough of Republican guests trying to defend Donald Trump. He basically claimed that former military officials who have criticized Trump used to think he was a good president. Anderson Cooper said, I don't think they're saying he was good when they were working for him. They've left now, and this is what they're all saying. They're all warning and saying what they saw when they were there. They didn't say he was... And I was saying, this is so against the military code to do this. This is how strongly they feel about this. But so then this guy, I don't even care which New York Republican, Maldonado, whatever. Mm-hmm. He said, he's a New Yorker. He's a fighter. And another guest said, New Yorkers who fight don't usually invoke fascism.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
You're blaming being a New Yorker for...
And he was talking to Anderson Cooper, who's a New Yorker who's never been in a fight in his life.
Right.
Talking about stereotypes and tropes. I think Anderson actually used a bad word on his show.
He did.
When he said that. It's just ridiculous. This guy that it's a caricature of all New Yorkers. There's, that's vibrato, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Vibrato. See, every once in a while I'm a little dyslexic. You heard me? You should hear me on the beans, man. Every once in a while I'm like, there has to be just some dyslexia inside me because, whew.
I'm wondering too, there was, I can't remember, wasn't it a couple 100,000 evangelicals on the Evangelicals for Kamala call? I mean, it's what we talk to Fugelsang about every week, about, them taking back their religion. Atlantic columnist Peter Wenner, who writes about politics from a conservative Christian perspective, hammered Trump's evangelical supporters for tossing aside their principles to back his third bid. He fretted about the declining decency of voters. I keep thinking that, Dana, we're going to find out at long last if we have any decency in this country. This is going to be a moral test November 5th, an IQ test. But he said it has been catastrophic damage that's been done to the Christian witness because this is a moral freak show. You have to wonder, I don't know what percentage, but it finally goes, oh, come on. This guy's the least Christian guy we've ever seen.
I would hope so. I love that account exists. I hope they're reaching people, even if it's just, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, hopefully 10,000, more than that. But the percentage in some of these states were so close, so close, that people voting for the first time are going to matter. Republicans that have gone to the other side are going to matter. And hopefully, obviously, the people that just turned 18, they're voting for the first time. But when I see adults say this is the first vote I've ever cast, they know the stakes in this election.
Yep. Oh, God, I hope so.
Hey, all. Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.